All right, so now we're going to look at scalar multiplication. What is scalar multiplication? Well, it's scaling a vector. It's changing the scale, changing the length. It has no effect on the direction. All it's going to do is scale up or down or reverse the vector. So I've got a u which is 2 minus 3. That's a vector looking something like that. If I wanted 2u, then I'm going to just double the length. Mathematically, all I do is multiply each of the terms by 2. And that ends up with a vector that is twice as long, has twice the magnitude, but doesn't change the direction. Again, so that's my 2u, that's my u. And if I wanted to do a half u, all I'm doing is halving my length. And again, all I want to do is halve each of these. So half of 2 is 1, half of minus 3 is negative 1.5 or 1.5. Now, so those are nice and easy. What about minus u? What does minus u mean? Well, minus u, you're doing the same idea. It would be minus 1 times u. So minus 1 times 2 would be minus 2. Minus 1 times minus 3 would be positive 3. Now, if I draw that vector, it does actually change direction. It changes direction to be opposite the previous direction. And it's in fact exactly the same here. If I've got a vector going from A to B, then that's going to be exactly the same as my vector going from B to A, except in the opposite direction. And we know that we can do that now with a minus. So that's just a little aside that might be important later. Lastly, we're going to look at this other one, which is a sort of special case. What about 0 times any vector? Well, that's going to bring our scale down to 0, our length down to 0. We just call that the 0 vector. And it has 0 length and really is directionless. It could be any direction. All right, now let's put these into practice. What if I now wanted to look at this u and v and I wanted to combine them in different ways? Or if I want to just do u minus v, well, mathematically that is really easy. Because all I'm doing is the same sort of operation with a plus. I'm going to minus these. So I'm going to do 2 minus 1 is 1. Minus 3 minus 2 is minus 5. And that gives me my vector. Might want to look at that visually, though, because visually I think it's a little bit more interesting. I've got my u vector that's coming down here, and then my v vector is up here. Now, if I added them, I would come up here, but I want to minus them. So it's like taking this vector, turning it around and adding it, or taking this vector and putting it facing the wrong way out the back. So minus v would be literally the vector going the other direction. We can then add it, so we can think about going the other way. So this here would be my u minus v. And finally, just doing some combinations. Again, mathematically, we just then do each of these and then add them together. So 2 lots of u. Well, I've already done that up here. That was 4 minus 6. And 5 lots of v, well, that's going to be 5 lots of 1, which is 5, and 5 lots of 10 is 2. And then I just want to add those. So 4 plus 5 is 9, minus 6 plus 10 is 4.